Hey folks, how's everybody doing today? Happy Thursday. Alrighty. Awesome. Let's see. Let's see what we've got on tap for today. Alright, we're going to work on the EL, our expression language, and the Jstl, our standard tag library. To do a little more, this is like ease of use sort of things with JSP. They make this a lot easier to get at attributes, just a lot cleaner, easier to write than the uglier JSP style tags. There's nothing wrong with those tags, but we're looking for what's going to be easy for us to use. So EL definitely a little easier for us to use here, so that it just kind of simplifies how we get at attributes that have been added to our session. And then the tag library, a lot of easier. We could do some quick loops, some quick if-else sort of things right inside. Yeah, and then they're just, things we've done similar in PHP, where we'll get at attributes and do quick little loops. We have similar ways of doing that here on the Java side of the world. And then we will talk about our final project as well. I know this last project we had to push back a week, so I pushed the due date out. Hopefully you had a chance to finish it. There wasn't a whole lot to do for that project. So if you need to get it in by 4/8, that's okay. I can take it through then for that project 4. But we'll talk about the final project tonight, and then we'll plan on getting that in by the 29th. So we'll have all of April to work on that final project. And for the final project, it could be done in PHP or JSP. Whichever you prefer is perfectly fine. We'll be touching on the database side of things next week. So we will need to store stuff in a database, but like the main pages and things you could start building if you want to do it in Java. And if you want to do it in PHP, I think we've got everything that we need to do in PHP as well. So whichever you're going to prefer. I'm open to either for the final project, and we'll talk about that today as well. And hopefully this one should be, fun might be a small stretch here. We're not building a game or anything really playful here, but I think it should be interesting, and maybe you can build something you'll be proud of. You can say, yeah, put some work into this, and it turned out to be a decent product. All right. Let me fire up NetBeans here, and then we'll drink some coffee while that loads. I forgot to refresh my cup. I'm going to run downstairs while NetBeans turns on. Give me just a second. And here, let me put some more music on while I get some fresh coffee. Because if I run out of coffee, it's really sad. And I just have to go downstairs. Come on. Okay, nothing's going to load, of course. Let me put that back on. Alright, sorry about that. I have my coffee now. Life is good. Still hot. The thermal pot thing is just amazing that it stays warm. Like I make, not that the pot stays around long, but it doesn't have to keep the burner on to keep it warm, so it doesn't get all gross. All right, close this down, and we'll fire up. Let's go with the new project. Or no, you know what? Let's open up our old one because we had. Is that still our Hello World project? Did I still call that one Hello World? Still working with Hello World. It's done a little bit more than Hello World, haven't we? So the book does a nice job telling us about this expression language and all the cool things it does. One of my favorite things is that it handles null values better. Like if we don't have a string variable, it doesn't give us null, and we're not going to crash. It's just going to give us an empty string, which is almost 100% of the time, probably like 99 point something percent of the time what we want. We don't want a null value to show up. What we really want is just an empty string if there was no value there. So there's not, I mean, so the advantage there is amazing, and the disadvantage, right, is that you need to have that Java Bean object created. Maybe resolve problems. I don't want to resolve any problems. There were no problems. This project was amazing. All right. So if you don't create a Java Bean object, the old JSP style tags would make one for you with the defaults, which is why all these Bean classes, anything that was a Java Bean style class, had to have a no argument constructor. Because we need to be able to make one with no arguments. Well, sure. Okay. But the expression language won't do that for us. So if we mess up in our MVC pattern and our controller doesn't create a bean for us in the view is just sad. A hat. Oh, you got it. Oh, man. I left my other hats in my bedroom. I guess I get this one then. This one still has the bow tie. My daughters think it's funny to keep their hats in here. We'll go with this one today. How's that? Is that working for you, Uthrov? Now, if someone were to redeem that again, obviously I would have to change this hat and I'll go get one of the respectable hats out of my bedroom. But, you know, this is what I get for not keeping them in my little hat stash. That's good. All right. And we do have our final exam coming up as well. The plan for 429 is just time set aside for the final exam. So going through the quizzes is going to be your best practice for this. I've given enough projects to see how you code. So the final exam will be pretty much the quiz style questions, where just a bunch of short answer ones. The goal is not for it to take super long. You should be able to get it done in an hour. I mean, I'm guessing it'll be about 30 questions. I still have to write it, but I'm planning for about 30 questions or so, quiz style questions. So if it at 2 minutes a question, right, maybe a little longer, an hour. If it takes you 4 minutes a question, then you're done in 2 hours. But you'll have the full 4-hour block to get it done on 429. And then it doesn't even have to be done in our time slot, the 1 to 5 or 1 to 4:45, whatever the official slot is. Anytime 429, I'll open it up like midnight in the morning, and I'll close it 429 at like 11:59 p.m. Yeah, I might even close it later for any of you who are night people like I am. Maybe I'll close it by like 4 in the morning on 4:30. Like as long as you get it in by 4:30 in the morning, I can start grading them. Because apparently I only get 48 hours after the class is done to get grades in, and before I start getting hounded. Which means I need to start grading the rest of these projects too. I'm so sorry for the delay. And I realized I didn't have rubrics for these. I thought I added rubrics for everything, but apparently I'm dumb and did not. So let me go back and show you, because I went and added some rubrics. Someone had asked me specifically to go look at one of their, how they did on some of these. So I went and added the rubric here. So for stock trading, make sure I click the right buttons here. This was our first iteration of the stock project, where we just go add entries to stock order. I went and added the rubric based off of what was in the description. So if you have complaints, please let me know. Like, I'm happy to admit that this rubric was not created before you submitted, and if it's if you don't agree with how it works, I'm happy to entertain that conversation. But it's mostly like right off of here. So 3 points for being able to buy stock, and you add the entry to the stock order table. 3 points for updating the user's balance when they buy stock. So like if it didn't all completely work, right, I'm trying to give points as partial points were possible. For selling, right, 3 points for selling, 3 points for updating the balance when they sell, and then 3 points for listing the stocks when it was owned. This was the list of stocks purchased and who was owned, the selling here, and the buying here, right? So 3 points, or 6 points essentially, right? 3 points, 6 more points, and ooh, the username and balance. I didn't add that. Sorry. Should be okay. Okay, so if you had this and you're missing one of the other ones, let me know as I work on getting these graded. I'm happy to throw a point or two towards this if you did this and missed one of these other features. So I'll try and be flexible on that, given it's taken me so long to get these graded, and I just now gave you rubrics for those. So that's a rubric for 2, and then for 3, very similarly, it's a hard word to say. Come on, there you go. The stock creator Redux with our MVC style design here, which I'm glad more people got submitted there. That was good news to see that. All right, 20 points on this one. So this is in 5 groups of 4 here. So 4 points for your MVC design. That wasn't required the first time around. This time it was required. So as if you didn't do it, you only lost 4 points for not following that design pattern. Adding and deleting a user, 4 points for that. 4 points for being able to add or withdraw cash for a particular user. 4 points for getting the list of stock current value, net gain and loss. That was this option here, right? Adding and deleting users, withdrawing cash, and then the drop-down fields all across for stock name and username and all of our pages. 4 points for that one. And that should have added up to the 20 points there. Okay? So I got those rubrics added. I'm working on scoring your projects. Sorry for the delay. It's... I'm sorry. I'll be working on it. I got behind, and yeah, just got to get it done for you. So I'll be working on that. And then don't forget Java Shop. I think we added a rubric for this one already. Yeah, we did add a rubric for this one, right? Or is that just the grade assignment there? I think you guys talked me into making it right away. Let's take a look. Yeah, okay, so this one has the rubric as well. 20 points on the Java Shop here. So 5 points. Servlet and JSP pages. Java server pages, not JSP pages, just JSPs. Your receipt page with a pay, just pretend like you're paying something, right? Button to pay. And you get sent from the servlet to the JSP view, and trying to follow this MVC model, right? Where you have the servlet sending you to the view here. So the servlet is our controller, the JSPs are the views. The servlet and the controller and the model can get a little bit mixed up, but ideally we're moving things out into model classes, and the controller just does that translation. Thank you for your order page, random order number, just generates them in random, and your header and footer, error handling, actions not found, those sorts of views. You're just trying to piece these things together, right? Just like we do with PHP, we can include little bits, little JSPs for the header or navigation or anything we want to do, and have our footer down there as well. That's going so. Hopefully that one's going well. Nothing super complex on this, if I estimated that right. Huh. I didn't lose you folks, did I? No. I'm still online. It says my ring alarm system went offline. That's usually means I lost my Wi-Fi. Okay. So that's fun. Maybe someone bumped something. I've been having weird issues. My microwave, every time I try and use it, it trips the breaker in the circuit breaker box. So we had no microwave today, which is sad, and I haven't figured out why, but I haven't really had a chance to look at it much, other than, yeah, it flips the breaker. So that's on my to-do list of things to fix now. All right. Does the same for you, what, your microwave? Or, sorry, there's a little bit of delay and I get confused easy. Power to your kitchen? Oh no. So my wife was like, oh, let's Google it real quick, and there's something you can look at that might be faulty in the microwave. This microwave's only 3 years old. I'm really sad. I'm hoping it's not dead. We'll see. Oh, and I am supposed to ask you folks, although I know you're likely near the end of your program, but, you know, for future students, it will be useful. Are there things that you would like to see in a classroom? I'm imagining most of you folks have probably been to the Orchard Ridge campus by now, unless you started in the fall remote semester and you've never been, which is possible. But if you've been, you know, our lab classrooms are a little small and jam-packed, and they're not ideal. So the facilities management team is going to be renovating the L building just across the way from F building. And that'll be the new home for CIS and business, which is pretty exciting. So they said we should talk to our students and see what kind of things you would like to see in a classroom. I said more power for laptops is an obvious one, because a lot of people like to bring their own devices now. And any other ideas you folks have for what would make a good classroom, please let me know. So their design team is looking for feedback and input. Although the soonest it will start is not until winter 2022 for the renovation. So it's unlikely you guys will ever see the building. A whiteboard. Yeah, I know a lot of people like whiteboards. If I'm in person, I try and do all the whiteboard on my screen anyway. You know, I do some whiteboarding up front, but like usually it's behind the projector screen, and then it's just sort of silly anyway. So I can't have both. Yeah, here, okay, whiteboards. Definitely. Yeah, so it'll be exciting. I don't know how long. I asked like when it'll be done, and they're like, oh, we're only in the requirements gathering phase at the moment. This design, whoever we're using for this thing is all fancy and very agile methodology style, and it was really cute to see. But then, you know, they're good practices. But it was fun. Had a good meeting with them. All right. I'm gonna have to keep a stash of hats in the classroom. That's what I'm gonna need. Okay. Yeah. I mean, power, places for laptops. I'm hoping to get pods instead of rows. Like, trying to do anything in groups has been terrible in those little rows of 4. Because pairs is okay. You could always pair up. But if you want to do like a group of 3, then someone's left out in the row. Because like only 3 people can really see one computer at a time anyway, if you're trying to screen share something. It's always like the middle, one of the middle 2 computers, but we'll see. So they had some ideas. Apparently Auburn Hills was getting a brand new building, and we're just getting a renovated building, and I'm not salty about that at all. You know, that's okay. We'll figure this out. And they have this 3rd floor mezzanine thing that is unusable space because there's no elevator to it. So they're like, oh, we could put your offices up there, except I can't meet with students who can't use stairs. So like that's just okay. That was dumb. So they're like, oh, we'll just put all the, you know, the utility rooms and copy rooms and things. It's like, oh, great. So if I hurt myself and I can't use the stairs, I can't go make copies of anything or go to any of the administrative rooms. Nope. So this that's around, these buildings are a little old at the Orchard Ridge campus. And their design, they're like, oh yeah, we'll put a 3rd floor with no elevators. Screw that. Who cares about the Americans with Disabilities Act? So I was like, oh, so we're going to fix the elevator, make it up to the 3rd floor? And they're all like, no, that's not on the table. That was depressing in the design meeting. Anyway, let's get back to writing some code. Okay, so we did a little bit of EL in our view here. Oh, there we go. So this here is our EL. This is our expression language. So and then curly braces, object, property, or attribute. Okay? So we need to make sure that this is added, right? That this beverage object is added. So in our controller, right? Oh, sorry, that's the JSP. What am I doing here? My Hello World controller, right? If we want the secret coffee menu, we make a new beverage, and I set an attribute. Now, there's actually a couple of different places you can set attributes, which is really cool. And most of the time, the default will work for us. Oh man, these scabs are driving me nuts. The default location is usually fine for us, but we can get specific if we want. So when we're adding attributes using our expression language here, we can add it to different scopes. We can add it to the page scope, so it's stored in our page context. We can add it to the request context. We can add it to the session context or the application context. And when we go and use expression language, EL, to go get something, you don't have to tell it what scope. It goes and looks at the smallest scope and goes to the bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger scopes automatically. So again, depending on where we put it, right, it will go find it at the smallest one first. Okay, so you can, if you need to put them at higher level scopes, most of the time our default is perfectly fine. So adding here in our controller, setting the attribute here is going to, by default, this one I believe puts it in, was it the session scope? I'm pretty sure it's the session scope. And we can just go get it right back out. But if you need to change things, you can. Not too big of a deal there. So if you want to specifically look for a specific scope in your EL, your expression language, in our view, we could say, oh, let's look at, say, the page scope dot. And we'll go look in the page scope for this particular object. Let's see if we can give this a run here. Should fire up Tomcat for us. There you go. Firing it up. It's thinking about it. So the first time is a little slow. After this, it should be a little faster to restart our project because it can just leave Tomcat up and running. It turns out like all this example stuff, these web app docs and examples do take a little bit of time to load. All right, there we go. And to get here, remember we need to tell it we need the secret coffee menu, so that's our action. We have to get a specific action for our secret coffee menu. Let's go. There we go. So here's my, oh, I didn't even have an action there. Oh. And action equals secret coffee menu. Here we go. Secret coffee order club. Oh, there's no name here. It didn't pick up a name. Right, in our beverage here. Remember, it's not it's not saved at the page. Oh, I said put score. How about scope? Better if I put scope. Let's reload that one. Might be better if I spell this thing right. All right, and we'll just refresh this one. Still not there, right? There's nothing at that page level. Okay, so let's try. We get it at the request scope. Give that a save and a run. Okay, refresh this one. Ooh, black coffee. Okay, so we found it at the request. Oh, good, it's in the request, so it's probably not in session then. In the session scope, must default to the request scope. This is why you just go look stuff up. It's not worth memorizing. We'll see our black coffee disappears. Right? So again, if you need a specific scope, you can use it, but most of the time we like our defaults. Let's just leave it there. And then we don't have to specify, and it's going to go look in page, request, session, and application scope for those. Okay? Now, the other really cool thing we get with our beans here is we could get a whole menu. Right? This is just a single beverage here. Right? But what if we wanted a bunch of beverages? Like if we wanted this to be a menu, right? We could do that sort of thing. So let's do that. So let's have, instead of adding a single beverage here, let's make a couple. And let's make, say, maybe a list. So we'll do an array list of type beverage. Beverages equals a new array list. Type beverage. And yes, we want to import that. Thank you, NetBeans. Oops. Phone. Oh dear. Okay, my alarm's back on. That's super weird. Super weird. Yes, import our array list. And then we'll add coffee to beverages. So we'll call beverages.add. We'll add the coffee. And then how about we make an espresso beverage? Espresso. 2 S's? Espresso? I can never remember. I really should know. Look at espresso beverage. Just espresso equals a new beverage. Given espresso. And this one's not as big, right? These are like done shot by shot. So that's maybe 100 milliliters here. And then we'll take beverages and we'll add our espresso. Okay. And then we want to add beverages instead of coffee. So we want to add an entire list. And this is one of the beauties with expression language then. So if I want to get just one of those, right, I can go to my beverage view. So it's no longer beverage or even beverages dot. Because I know beverages is a list here, right? I want to get things out. And with lists, we get stuff by index, right? So we could get, say, index 1 out. Now we don't use the get notation, which is funky. Oops. Uh-oh. Pile of errors. What did I do wrong? Oh, there's no espresso. How about an espresso? That was happier? Okay. Now that'll build, right? There we go. Fix those typos. Let's see if we can get our espresso out. Back to our secret coffee menu. I got the beverage out. Ooh, I got the default toString. Right, I forgot to get a property. Remember, beverage index 1 is an instance of beverage. That was our beverage class. Right? This happened to be the espresso instance, but if I want the name, right, I get the name property. So it uses array notation, even though it's an array list. So that's the one funky thing. It's not beverages.get1. Index of 1 here for that. And then we can get the name property out. We'll try that again. There we go, espresso. Cool. And then maybe, right, maybe our beverage class over here, maybe this has a cost. Private double cost. So we probably want to set cost to 0 unless we know otherwise. So we'll take a double for cost. And then we'll say my this cost equals the cost. Okay, we're going to add that attribute, add it to our constructors. So we're still a bean. And we need get methods for all of our attributes and set methods. So I need to add some sets and gets. So go insert code, right? Don't type this by hand, right? NetBeans does it for you. We'll get cost. And we'll insert some code for the set cost. Okay, we're still a bean, right? We're get and set, give that a little format, clean it up. All right, so we still have a new our constructor, gets and sets for everything. We implement serializable. Life is good. But now it's upset because we don't have costs specified here. So we should say, okay, so coffee is maybe $1 and espresso is $1.50. Okay, and then in our view, we can say here's the name and maybe $1 beverages.cost. Oops, I actually want a $sign to show there. So maybe that'll be happy. Because the $sign tells it to use expression language. We'll see if we can see how expensive this is. Okay, so espresso and that. Now, it would be nicer, right, if we kind of put this in some sort of table instead of just a paragraph, right? Maybe we had a table, and then maybe we had some headers. Maybe we'd have a table header for name or something. Well, that needs to go in a row. Right? Table row, table header, cost, table row. Okay, and then we can put a row in here, right? And this would be table data specifically then. So here's table data for the name. We don't need that paragraph. We can just throw the name in here. And another table data for the cost. And we copy that ending tag, and there's our table. Okay, so we'll make our table look a little prettier for this. Let me give that a little format. Okay. Again, you can add some stuff, make this a little prettier, but we're not about prettiness here. We're just about, can we get some functionality going, right? Interact with some dynamic content. All right, the secret coffee order club, we got our espresso, but now, I wanted all of them. I want everything that's in the list, right? I don't want to just have to do this. That's not all that fun, right? If I want a whole list of it, well, now what we want to do is we want to use our Jstl, which is super cool. So our Jstl here then, right, that's our tag, Java standard tag library, lets us do all sorts of cool stuff. So we've imported the jars here for our libraries. We said we want the Jstl stuff. We need to add the jars. Okay. Once we've done that, then we get to go add our tag library, include here, our directive. So we want the tag library. Okay, so this is the core library, right? The Jstl core. Creating our core library. And we want to do some looping here. Right, so what we can do then here, we want to do this for each object. Okay, so this is, we say C for core, and it's a for each. We're going to do for each something. So we want a variable, and we're going to call it our beverage, maybe. Beverage. And the items are going to be from our collection of $beverages. And what we want to do for each one of these things is we want to add a table row. And now I can just say beverage.name, beverage.cost. Because beverage is what I'm calling each item in the beverages collection. So it's using that core Jstl here, right? That's the import we added here, our core, and it can loop through each of these now. Let me get that little format, that got ugly. And we're going to add the beverage name and the beverage cost. Okay, see if that works for us. Maybe I have a typo, we'll see. It's quite possible. Look at that. So we get our black coffee, we get our espresso, and then all I have to do then, right, is if I want to add more beverages, what else should we sell at our secret coffee club? What other beverages should we sell? Should we sell like a latte? Lattes are amazing, by the way, because it's literally an espresso with milk. Milk is pretty cheap. The expensive part of a latte is the person's time that it takes for them to steam the milk. That's literally it. So when you pay $4 for a latte, you're getting the same shot of espresso that you were paying $1.50 for, plus like 25 cents of milk, maybe if you're getting the fancy milk, plus the person's time, because they have to stand there for a minute or whatever it takes to steam the milk. Not to say the lattes aren't amazing and delicious. I love a good latte. Don't get me wrong, but I'm saying they're high markup items. This is a latte. And lattes, right, they're probably about the same volume as a coffee here, but they cost $4. And then we can take my beverages, and we can add the latte. Thanks, a latte. I'm going to do this because that's bothering me that they're not all equal. Well, let's make them and then add them. Or, you know, the other thing we can do here, which this is fancy, you can just call add, and you can hand it a new object. You don't ever need to store that variable. This is one of my favorite ways. Right? If we never need to reference that variable again inside of the rest of the code, just hand it to add, and you're done. Is that, okay, not enough parentheses. There we go, got it. Right, just add a bunch. Okay, so let's give that a run. So we'll add the latte to the menu, our highest markup item here. And if we go to our secret menu, there we go. We got our latte. So again, we're kind of jumping around. We're combining expression language and our Jstl because they're fantastic. This core library does so much good stuff. Again, you're probably not impressed because we already did this in PHP, this sort of for each stuff, right? Sure, we already did it in PHP. Okay, and you're not impressed, but it's cool we can do it in Java and not have to have specific Java callout code in our JSPs. Right? We could do that. We could open up Java tags, right, and write Java code if we wanted. Nothing wrong with that. Right? We could do it the old way, but this is just a little cleaner and easier for us to see. A little bit less effort than saying, okay, start a tag, and then like you have an opening tag, and you have to remember to end the tag, and then the things inside of the tag are the outputs here, and all that other stuff. Okay? Now, another cool thing we get with the core library, and this is what I was trying to Google for last week, and I was dumb and couldn't figure it out here. Where is our hello world get parameter name? Here we go. Putting name in here. Hi there, name. So this is not actually all that pretty here, right? Because we saw I could do a bad thing with name and give it an alert. So what we want to do here, we want to use the core library. Why do I have all this nonsense? Get rid of that garbage. Okay, there we go. And, oh, that was our if. Okay, yep. So if name is null, that's always fun. Hi there. We want to use a core out. And the value is going to be $name. Oh goodness, it's upset with my tags here. That's okay. Dollar, curly brace, name. It doesn't like it. C colon out. Yep, value. Ah, there we go. That needs to go in quotes. There, that's why I didn't like it. Try and see out the name here. See if we can get that. And out here is made to do our HTML formatting. So let's see if I can get some name to show up. Oh, it didn't. Oh, okay. We didn't actually add it. That's what it was, because that was just an attribute. Oh, goodness. I'm getting off the request. Let's go add that to our controller, our Hello World controller. Our actions, Hello World. Let's set our name, right, as our request parameter. So we'll say a string name is a request dot get parameter name. And then we want to add that to our attribute, our session attribute. We'll add a name as the name. Okay, and then my page here then. this should be a little happier. Let's give that a shot, because now I can get that off my request. ASDF. Ooh, did I hit caps lock? All right, cool. So we're getting it out. But then remember, we could do those cool JavaScript alerts. I forget. I never remember. I always just go look this up. Sorry, I'm like leaning way far back in my chair there. Almost off camera. Here we go. So, oh, come on. I need the whole JavaScript tag. Give me the whole JavaScript tag. Try it yourself. Give me the JavaScript tag. There we go. Script. Throw that in a little notepad. We don't want the function, right? We just want the script. There we go. Okay, so if I put this in for name, all of that just to get here. Hi there, script alert script. Ooh. Well, cool. Remember, before we were doing that, if we weren't doing this outputting stuff here, if we're just doing, say, $name, and I was running this, let's reload. And we refresh. Hi, I'm an alert box. Woof, woof, woof. Right? So using cout, that's what I was looking for last week. And for some reason I couldn't find it. But here we go. Cout, our core library, use out, and it will do the formatting for you. It's fantastic. Super smart here. Okay? How you feeling so far? So using a little bit of our tag library, using a little bit of our expression language, using some array lists, right? So we can build whole lists of things, which is awesome. Cool. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to take some practice for sure, but it's really cool. We're getting there. Okay. Okay. If you don't want to have to grab it in the controller and set it as an attribute, you know, I kind of prefer this. Like, I like the idea that the controller is doing this sort of thing, but if all we're doing is getting it and handing it, we're not really gaining a whole lot here. Maybe it's nicer to say, oh, sure, I just want to go get it from the request myself here. Right? We can get it out of our parameters. So you say param dot name. Let's see, that should take it. So I shouldn't have to do it this way then. This should go get it out of our parameters. Because we have some implicit objects in the expression language we can use. We can get stuff out of our page context. We can get stuff out of headers if we wanted. So those sorts of fun things. But I think, this isn't too bad. Just saying param.name. Yeah, no, I like the controller doing that sort of stuff, just so the controller can check it. But it's okay. You should be able to get our name out as well. Where'd it go here? There we go. And we're still doing nice little formatting here. Cool. So we don't even, the controller doesn't have to get it and hand it and set it. So, I guess it's a nice little shortcut. And it's not too bad to say parameter name. Sometimes you might want to be checking for it in the controller, though, and doing like, hey, if it's not there, do I want to set a default, that sort of thing. But that should be okay. Remember, expression language, that's Firefox, is much better. So like if I hit the page and I don't have a name, it's okay. There's no big deal. Oh, we did around that, didn't we? Our JSP was doing some extra special Java tagging stuff. This was ugly. That was ugly, right? These like open a Java code tag and do this sort of tag thing here. Let's just always have that one. We'll do that with feelings, okay? Where you can get the parameter values, but we'll leave that here. And again, you could do the same sort of thing here with parameters. It's param values. Right, we'll get all the values for feelings here, and then you can check its length and undo all that good stuff here as well with our tags. But so this is the old style, doing it all in like Java code, and then the newer style is using these JST stuff or JSTL stuff. Hello world, and we get the hi there, and just an empty string, right? So we don't get null, we just get an empty string, which is really nice. Right, using this expression language. So this is really nice. Okay. Cool. Yeah, it's going well. Getting those, getting our properties out. Yeah, I like it. You can do arithmetic inside of expression language. That's all fine. Operators, yep. All right, cool. So more about the standard tag library. Other cool things we can do with the tag library. Right, the output, right, is amazing. We should probably always use out anytime we're doing anything with custom parameters. Right, now this is a little ugly. Right, because anything they put into feelings, we're going to be accepting. So we should be checking this as well. Right, so let's put that inside of an out. Value equals. We do a string join on feelings. Let's see. Don't think we can join it like that, though. No. Oh, yeah, that's unhappy with us. It's not a fan. Not a fan. Let's see. We could do this better with our expression language, right? If we can get all of those parameters out as one value, right? I think we can get those out. Again, we're checking if not null. I don't know. Yeah, we can't just out that. So the EL, it is a little frustrating sometimes. Because it's not like full Java code inside one of those expression language tags like it is, hey, when I put %, and then I get to just start writing Java code. That's okay. I think we can do it here. Let's look over here. Yeah, we do. It's just a for each, right? We'll just do it for each. That's what we can do. Yeah, we'll do that. So we'll do a for each. Okay, that's what we'll do. So, okay, instead of this, you know, maybe we'll leave this section here. We'll do it again with that. That's what we'll do. Okay. I like that. So we can say, here, we want to say our core library if, and what do we want to do? We want to say, we want to test if something is true. So this is saying, if this is true, we should run. Okay? If it's true, we'll do this thing. So we want to test that my dollar, that's param, so param values, is it? Param values, never remember which one it is called. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? So many, yeah, param values of feelings, param values, feelings, should give me all of them, right? So that it should be a list of them there. Then I want to see that I have a lot of these, right? Did I get a list of them? Let's check that. So we'll say, all right, if I have these, and I should be able to get a dot count, I want to say. If we have some feelings, let's try that. If we have feelings, then we can do this sort of thing. Then we'll start saying, all right, the computer feels. Okay, and then we want to go through and we want to loop for each of those feelings. Right, so we can do a C for each. And we'll have, say, item is, I don't know, say, feeling. Oh, I'm sorry, for each var feeling. Items is my parameter values feelings. Is feelings. For each item, we just want to spit out so that we'll see out the feeling. Oh goodness, see out value is feeling. For each of those. So if we have feelings, start, output all the feelings. And I think we were outputting a comma in there as well. Right, kind of comma separating them. Does that look right? All right, let's see if that does it for us. Let's see. Oh man, we have so many of these pages open. Let's close all these down. And let's give it a name and some feelings. Oh, we didn't get it at all. Oh dear. Oh, this must not have been true. So we must not have had a count. And parameter values feel. Oh, it's just feeling, not feelings. Feeling. That's why I can't call it feeling there. Maybe we'll call that feel. See how well that works. Gotta get these names right. All right, let's see if we can just refresh that one. Oh, all right. Here we go. It crashed. That's a good sign. Number format expression for string count. Feeling.count. I was trying to turn that one into an integer. That's not good, because it was trying to say, oh, I want that value out of the list there. Let's see if we can Google this. So the Jstl array has items. Is that what we want? No, we don't want to check if it matches. This isn't doing what we want here. Contains? I don't think it's contains. Not doing what we want. It was trying to turn this into, like, saying that was a property, and that's not what we wanted. Just say if feelings. Is it length? It might be length. Let's try length. Yeah, length if it's a regular array. That's right. Try length. I think the EL for this, it tries to turn it into like an index, though. It gets really funny. I think it's still going to crash. Yeah, because it's trying to say, trying to turn this into, because you can say like .0 or something like that, and it's silly. Or look up a particular value. Just say feeling. There's a way to do this. What is it here? See if you just get some feelings. Nope. Yeah, it's a string to a Boolean. What's the way here? That's not, okay, that's failing for me. So we just want to check. Just say greater than 0. I think that was failing, right? We were trying length greater than 0. Yeah, it doesn't like length. Let's try Jstl array. Length? Oh, that was not it. A string, number of elements in a collection. Oh, maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. Fn? Oh, okay, the functions. There we go. Can I get this out of the functions tag library? This might be it. This might be the winner. So if we use a function, then just say that fn length here. Parameter feeling. Greater than 0. Crossing my fingers here. Crossing my fingers. Yeah. Oh, look at that. Okay. So we got an extra comma there. That's a little ugly because we ended with one. And then at the end of that, we want to say 2, right? And then we end the H2. comma separators, but we didn't want them all there. So I'm guessing, let's see, let's look at this Jstl function. Is there a join? I bet we can do a join here. Gotta be one for join, right? There we go. Look at that. This will get it for us. Function join string. Okay, perfect. So we don't even need to do a for each, right? We'll do our right in here. A cout, right? Because we want to make sure we're getting this in the output. So we're cleaning this. Value is a fn join, right? Given my parameter feelings, and a comma, and a space, and that one, and the quote 2. Is that it? Uh-oh. Countered an ending brace. Oh dear, we upset it. It wants an out, it wants a value. But we need to end our output. Still unhappy. Can I do single quotes there? No, still doesn't like it now. We're getting so close. Countered at line, was expecting one of the... Okay, so it doesn't like what it found. All right, where's our join? Where's our join here? Let's set value. It does use single quotes for sure. Function join, string. Are we missing a parenthesis? Yeah, we're missing a parenthesis there. String join. Aha, missing parenthesis. Look at that. All right, let's give that a shot. Come on, Jstl. Refresh. It matches, fam. It matches. And if I stick one of those ugly alert things in here, here's my alert. If I'm feeling like an alert. Uh-oh. Our regular JSP code popped up an alert. Our JSTL code did not. So JSTL code for the win. Right? So we can trash this stuff. Let's get rid of this. Should I just comment it out? Let's just comment it out, right? So let's put a... Now, we want a code comment block, not an HTML comment block. Right? Because we don't want this to show up at all on the other side. We want those friends on the other side to see that. Now, no alert should come through. Look at that. How you folks feeling? So we were able to do it with the JSTL. It just took a little Googling. Is that fair? So the problem with the expression language, right? The things inside of your expression language can't be like full code snippets like this. So you have to use like these function wrappers that it knows it's calling functions. Yeah. What? I don't know. All right. Oh, I've been talking for a while here. So why don't we take a break? Oh, it's 2:10 already. My goodness, you guys got to stop me when I just go on and on and on and on. Because believe it or not, I could talk all day long. I do enjoy talking. So why don't we take a break, put some music on, we'll come back in a little while, and we'll do more fun with the JSTL and EL. It's too many acronyms. Like I get confused so easily. So don't you worry. Don't forget the PHP quiz is due by end of today. And then I'll be posting a JSP quiz probably today I can post that one because I don't think we need to do much in terms of the database questions. We'll see. Let's see how I feel about that. I might post a quiz about database stuff from next week, but we can get the JSP servlet stuff quiz out of the way for that. Where's my music? Come on. Open the music player. Oh, I think I figured out why my computer was slow, though. I think it's just overheating. And probably all the cat fur or whatever in the house and dander is clogging it up. So I think I need to take it in. There's no way for me to like disassemble it, which is unfortunate because it's a Surface Book. Come on, load. Give me the music player. It's not hard. Load the music player. All right, put this on our break time. And let's say we'll come back, say, 2:22 p.m. And we'll pick it back up where we left off. We can go from there. All right, folks. See you in a little bit. Hey, welcome back. Oh, is my internet being crazy? What is going on with this? What is going on? All right. That's all right. We are almost done for the day, which is awesome. Look at all this sweet stuff. Learn JSP. Yeah, why do we even need a book? No, we got lots of good stuff. So, let's see. Close all those down here. We need to talk about the final project coming up due. And we got all of April to work on this. Okay, that's the goal. And ideally, we're not going to use up all of our time. So we'll have a little bit of time to get together. Again, if you want to work in groups, I think there was a discussion post going around on that. You're welcome to pair up with someone here to work on this together. I can get you set up with a Git repository if you want to share your code that way, or you can even do the old-fashioned email trick, but that's a rough way to share code. Even like a shared drive is probably better. I think you all have access to Google Drive or something, but again, you got lots of options. So, I mean, some of those files will change often, and some will not quite as much. Like, let me take a look at my GitHub for the course. I'll update this new stuff we were doing with our tags and our expression library. We did some good stuff, and you can take a look at the book's example. It's really nice, like his store example, where we can send, like list all the items out in our store. Oh, not this one. We want 2454. There we go. 2454. It has a little cart so you can buy things. You add them to the cart, you can remove them from the cart. Those sort of things are pretty cool. All right. So this is more EL and JSTL. Commit and push all that. So all those examples are out there online. As long as that syncs there. We'll talk about our final project. This is the exciting one. I mean, maybe not super exciting, but it should be interesting, I think. It's kind of the idea. Yeah. I just want to close this as soon as it's done. Okay, and push. There we go. I think I need to get one of those desktop fans and just point it at my computer. It'll make it cool off a little better. I've got one, but it's a little noisy. Hesitate to use that one. I'm sure I can get a better one. Okay. So start into assignment. We'll do our final project. Final project. All right, and this one, again, April 29th, 11:59 p.m. is fine for this. We also have the final exam going on that day. And let me add this to grades here for the final project. There we go, project. And again, I'll say 25 points. The points only matter in terms of the category itself, so don't worry too much about that here. Okay. So we are going to build ourselves a little Twitter clone for fun. So this is a Twitter clone. We're going to see how hard this is going to be to make your own Twitter. Okay? Not super hard for some of the basic stuff, right? But we need to have a bunch of things happening, right? So we're going to back it with a database. If you need help creating a database, let me know. I'm happy to help get you set up on a database here. So we need to have users. Right? We need to have their posts that the posts that they make, or their tweets or twits or whatever, right? Tweets. I'm not that dumb or old. Fun fact: Twitter actually came out when I was in high school, so I was not on board with it initially because I thought it was silly. But come college time, I think I thought it was a little more interesting. One of my friends from school, one of their first projects in college was actually like a Twitter add-on sort of thing. It would go and, what did it do? It retweeted a bunch of things like just at you. I forget. It was really interesting. But anyway, so we need to have users who can log in, right? And they need to manage lists of who they follow so that they can get a personalized feed on their homepage. And then we also just need to be able to like just look at all possible tweets out there. We're not going to add any like super fancy search stuff because that's a little bit extra trying to find stuff inside of, and that's a little bit more database style. So we don't need to do anything like that. And then we need to be able to post our tweets. We're going to be able to try and add some images. Should be fun. So we'll look at a little bit of the multimedia stuff where you can add an image. I think we skipped through some of that in the PHP chapter. We can take a look at some of that in the JSP side if you're curious, and we can just store those in the database. So if you want to tweet an image as well, there's like a little upload option. We can store those in our database. So this is a database-backed Twitter clone. So we're going to have logins and sessions and things like that so we can, you can start following people, you can unfollow people. So allow users to create accounts and log in. Don't worry about like a delete account. No delete account required. Okay. And you should be allowed to follow and unfollow people. See the list of, and I'm going to go with newest tweets because, figuring out popularity is a whole other thing, and trying to figure out what should show up in your feed is weird. So let's just go with newest tweets of those they follow on their homepage. So we're going to have like custom URLs like /username. Right. We'll show the list of tweets of a particular, or of that user. Allow the logged in user to follow. Right, so like we can just go to this, whatever /username is going to show all the tweets. If that username doesn't exist, we'll just give them a generic error page, right? Exist with a generic error page or something. Okay. So we can follow, we can unfollow people, we can create posts, create new tweets, including uploading images. Okay. What else does Twitter do, folks? I think that's about it for the clone. Right, so we need to make sure we're taking care of passwords properly. We can look at doing some of that in JSP when we talk about databases next week. For following and unfollowing people, right, we need a way in our database table to have a list of who follows who. Right, so it's a person and who they're following. Right, so the same person could be followed by lots of people. Right, so they're like, user ID follows this user ID follows this user ID, just so you get a list of who you're following. You take your user ID and you search that table for all the people that this user ID follows. And I can see all of that. Okay. That's right. We need a way to include an option to like tweet. So you can click the little like button to like a tweet. We don't have to add like pretty icons or anything. Again, we're not trying to do anything pretty, but we should add a way to like and unlike, like or unlike a tweet. Include a count of likes when displaying tweets. Okay. Now, we don't have to do this in any sort of fancy way here, and there's no need to be able to search the tweets that you've liked. So we can just keep a counter on that tweet table, and every time someone likes it, increase the counter, and every time someone unlikes it, it decreases the counter, that sort of thing. It gets a little funky, if you want to be able to search things that you've liked, but we don't need to do any of that cool searching functionality here. Okay? Just having all the tweets. So we can find our users, we can see the list, right, of newest tweets. So any of that SQL stuff you need help with, let me know. I can help make databases if you need it. And the database could be the same whether or not we're using PHP or JSP. Right? It shouldn't matter which technology we're using to get the data there. We're just going to display it using whatever flavor we want here, which is cool. Okay. How you folks feeling so far? Think this is doable? You got a month to do it, all of April. Right, so I'll add a rubric a little bit later, or we can do that now, right? Why not? You're scared? I'm sorry, Ray Ray. Why does paste not work for me? Copy does not work anymore for me. Okay, save and close. Let me hit duplicate here. Now this is a little trick. I'm going to grab one of these up to my other monitor here so I can watch it. And we'll go back into editing the project. Okay, I'm going to add a rubric, create a new rubric. So it's final project. Delete all these stupid levels. Okay, so complete or missing. These are probably worth a bunch more points. Okay. So, and then where's my other page here? Where's my other screen? There you are. There you are. No, I mean, it should be a lot of fun. I'm hoping, right, to try and like recreate some of this functionality of possibly something you're familiar with, and see how hard it is, right? I mean, a lot of the tricky things that Twitter does around the analytics and searching and impressions and whatever stuff they do, but like that core functionality is not too terribly difficult, right? Go have the controller figure out what you're doing, go get some data out of the model, send it to a view, right? Kind of the basic stuff we've been doing. We're just trying to expand on it here. Have some cool information. Okay. All right. So this is user management, creation, login. Right. I think that's like, sure. Everything about users, 5 points there. So users should be able to create a new account here. So that's something we haven't done like from a non-logged in page before. Right. But, give them a username, give them a password, and we can go create that account in the database. Shouldn't be too bad. Just add a row. Okay. And this is user homepage, list of tweets from all those they follow. Okay. And then, / username page, list of tweets for specific users, including number of likes. Okay. There's that one there. 5 more points for creating tweets. Images, text and images is okay. We can tweet about things. We can make them text. We can make them images. We'll just add new tweets. Like the user has to be logged in for this, right? Logged in for this. So like you don't necessarily have to be logged in here to view tweets, right? But you can't get a home page unless you're logged in. Maybe this is just all tweets then, or all tweets if they aren't logged in. Right, so if you are logged in, your homepage shows you your following. If you're not logged in, it just shows you, hey, here's new stuff. Right, here's the new hot garbage online. Okay, you can go to a particular user's page. Okay, and we can create tweets. Now, should we give people an edit button? Should we have an edit button for our tweets? Is that allowed? I don't know. I mean, Twitter has not done that, so it must be difficult to have an edit button for your tweet. It's got to be like terribly hard. I mean, and they have so many people doing cool things there that if they haven't done an edit button by now, it must just be super difficult. No? Okay. That's okay. So creating tweets, and they can pay extra for the edit feature. That's right. That's what we need to do. We need a feature that lets them pay to be able to edit their tweets. You don't want to look stupid from that typo? Pony up some cash here. Pony up some cash. We'll let you edit that tweet. Take out that typo. Like I don't understand the whole you know, we are gonna die on this hill that you can't edit your tweets. Why? Who cares? I don't understand it. I don't know. I do appreciate at least that Facebook has a little like edited notation there if you've edited something here. Okay. What am I missing? What am I missing here? Oh, you can follow and unfollow people. So follow, unfollow people from their page. I don't want to throw everything that on here. Like this is just their list of tweets and then like following and unfollowing. You know, it's a little bit separate there. Creating tweets, your homepage. Is that it? And this should also be able to change password. Users should be able to change their password. Definitely a feature there. Creation, login, change password. You know, if we had, this would be fun, but we never really hooked up emailing, and you can email, but then like you have to put the password in, and I feel bad making you guys put password in code because that's really ugly to do, and the ways of doing that are a little bit trickier to get around it. So I feel bad asking for any sort of like emailing features, but like a forgot your password kind of page that sends them an email to their registered email address would be really cool. But I think that's a little bit beyond what we want to tackle right now. So I think we'll be okay. Like in the past, I've created my own burner account and said, here's the password for people, but I don't want to put that out online. And then because people do dumb things when you put information online. So I'd rather not publicly post any passwords at anywhere, even if they're just made up ones. Oh, sorry. Don't know that number. That's okay. Maybe I should put my phone on silent mode. How about that? I do know how to do that. There we go. Okay. All right, anything I'm missing here from the description then, our little Twitter clone? And there's no points for the database piece, but like it won't work without the database. But I'm happy to help you with any of those database pieces that you need. And it's not a database course. It wasn't even a prereq. So I'm hoping I'm able to assist enough that that's not a big deal. And apparently adding prereqs is a difficult process. Not impossible, like there's a bunch of paperwork involved and it has to go to votes and things. And so they frown upon trying to add prereqs. And I'm hoping you don't feel terrible not having any database stuff. And I'm glad Uthrav didn't call me out for changing hats. But I went and grabbed my hat while we were on break too. Okay. How you folks feel about our Twitter clone? Should we come up with a cool name for it? All right, let's attach the rubric, save and close. We can come up with whatever cool name we want for our Twitter clone. Maybe we could call it like Parlay. You know, people like to talk, and maybe we'll get to pretend we're pirates. You Parlay. Okay, that's all right. So that is the big project going towards the end of the semester, trying to put together all the things that we've done so far in either PHP or JSP. I mean, you pick whichever language you prefer. You have at it. And you're welcome to pair up with somebody. It's usually a lot of fun to work with somebody, especially if you get to pick your groups. So I can appreciate not being forced to work with somebody. Sometimes that doesn't work out well. I'm like, you two work together. You two work together. But, you know, if you're both up for it, should be a lot of fun. Some of this DOM, AJAX frameworks, this like a little bit more asynchronous and frameworks is fancier stuff we don't need to do the project, but being able to do DOM manipulations and AJAX calls and things makes it nicer looking, a little more modern, where you don't have to refresh the page and you can do endless scrolling and all sorts of cool stuff there. We're not going to worry too much about that. The amount of tweets we're going to have is probably not, even going to hit the hundreds. So we can load all 100 tweets and show them, rather than let's load 10, and then as they scroll, we'll load 10 more, and load 10 more, and load 10 more, and that sort of thing. But that's all cool. It's good features to add, but not necessarily required for anything we're doing now. Okay, so we'll pick up databases with Java next week, sessions and cookies the week after that, Cookies are great for storing some sort of information. Then you can always go ask the client for that information back that they've stored, and keeping that session alive. We've done a little bit of that with PHP. Right, we were able to store stuff on the session, and as long as you call that start session, it seemed to work out a little bit better. And then we'll pick up our last little miscellaneous topics on the 22nd, and then we'll leave this time aside for the final project or final exam, and then any last minute stuff on the final project. Hopefully you're done before the 29th with the final project. You want to get that one out of the way. I know finals week is usually pretty busy for all of you taking more than just one class. So again, the aim for the final is for it to be low stress. Okay? And then I will take your final project, and if you didn't do as well as you were hoping on one of the individual projects, I'll take your score for the final project and just overwrite that score for one of your individual one of your individual projects. So as I'm working on getting those scored for you, if you didn't do so hot on one of them, this is your chance. So it's not really extra credit, but it will just replace your score. And ideally, everyone's going to get 100% on this final project. We've got a month to do it. We're going to start early, right? We can all agree. We'll start early, get working on it, try and knock this one out, and we can go from there. All right, questions, thoughts, concerns? How you folks feeling? It's been fun. We are officially 12 weeks into the semester. Was that 4/5 of the way done? Is that right? I guess we had winter break, so out of 16, that's essentially 4/5 of the way done. So it's been a lot of fun. And if you do have ideas about newly renovated classrooms, let me know. My thought was pods. They had like 5 pods of 6 kind of around the room, and each one would have a big monitor on the wall that everyone could look at instead of trying to look up at a projector at the center of the room. And that's a little bit easier for group work. And I've got big plans. So yeah, when you got questions, post them in the Discord for sure. That's a great place to ask questions, and everyone sees the question and the answer. Definitely a good spot there. And we can go from there. All right, folks. It's been fun. Definitely read the textbook too. I'm giving you some highlights here, trying to give you the tips and tricks, things that you're going to need. The textbook is your main reference there, though. So go check that one out. Let's see. Milko's online. Let's go do some chemistry stuff. He's talking about batteries too. That's really cool. Let's go say hi to Prof. Milko, the OG education streamer on Twitch. I might have been streaming before him. I don't know. We never actually compared our notes here. Oh, man, he's teaching a class. I can't raid. That is unfortunate. I'll just give him a shout out. There we go. Well, who can we raid then? We can do math. I think we talked with Prof. Peter before. He's always fun. Or chess. There's always chess. You're going to go check out chess or math? Any votes? Chess or math? Let's try chess. Why not? Chess is fun. Okay. Go hang out with the chess bros. All right, folks. Yep. Let me know if you got questions. Hit me up. Find me in Discord, text message me, email me, call me. You know how to get a hold of me, and we'll go from there. Folks, take care.